Fantastic. I'll share my screen now while we're waiting for people to join. Good evening, everyone. You are all very welcome to our CAO information evening. My name is Fionnuala Finnegan, and I am joined by my dear colleague Emer Sheeran, who is our mature student officer. I am a student recruitment officer. So lots of different areas that I work on in the university, but for this evening, I'm going to be giving a brief overview of the QQI entry route. There could be some of you joining us here tonight that are already halfway through, perhaps at this stage, a QQI course, or perhaps there are some Leaving Cert students here who might be considering a QQI course for next year. Either way, you are all very, very welcome. I can see there are people still joining us here. So I will very briefly even, do a little bit of housekeeping. You can see there, folks, on the bottom of your screens or on the top of your screen, I suppose, depending, there is a little chat box and there is a Q&A box. What I'm going to use the chat box for this evening is to pop in some links that you might find useful. And we can use the Q&A box, if you wouldn't mind, for any questions that you have. And we hope you have lots of questions. So there's no such thing as a stupid question. We've all heard that one before. So if there's anything that you'd like to pose to either myself or to Emer while we're going through the presentations this evening, please do drop them down and we will endeavour to get to those. Oh, you're eager. I can see one in immediately.
That's just from me.
Everyone. Oh, it's just Emer. Oh, well done. I thought we had one. I thought that is an amazing start. Either way, it's all good. Yes, you're all very, very welcome. I hope you can see my screen okay. Can you see it there, Emer?
Yes, I can, Fionnuala.
Fantastic. So as I said, my name is Fionnuala Finnegan, and if you would like to email me, there is my email address. Lots of ways you can get in touch with it, folks. We have a work telephone number there. We have my direct email. We have a fabulous Ask web chat button, and in fact, which is live this evening. So we have two of our colleagues manning that as we speak. So we're hope to finish up here at 8 o'clock. I will be jumping off a little bit sooner to give another colleague a little bit of a hand on her presentation. But if you would like to continue asking questions to Emer, you can do so up until 8 or shortly after which time we have a live ask button, so Pubble on our website. You can continue to ask questions there. We're on all of the social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. So, you know, no excuse, loads of different ways you can get in touch. Yeah, so sure, look, without further ado, we might as well plough on with this evening's presentation. So just a little bit about Maynooth University. We've 38 degrees on offer. What that offers students is a lot of choice and a lot of flexibility. Whether you're coming in from a Leaving Cert and you decide to go straight into one of our level 8 degrees, you absolutely can. Or as I said, whether you are a current QQI student or perhaps considering becoming a QQI student, we're going to go through all of the different ways that you can approach that and engage in those 38 degrees at Maynooth. It offers choice, it offers flexibility. Not only is it a lovely place to work, and I know you might think I'm biased, but there is a great campus atmosphere. And that's because we have close to 16,000 students. Now, you might think that's quite a lot, but I suppose in comparison to some of the universities, it isn't really. But what's fabulous about Maynooth is that it is very fast growing. We have been very, very lucky, folks, that we were the proud recipients of a 60 million investment by government, and we've a brand new building called TSI opened. So if there's anyone here that's interested in business or social science or technology, you will be lucky enough to be able to sit in this building. So we have, as I said, close to 16,000 students at Maynooth, the majority of which would be undergraduate, so on their degree, either 3 or 4 years. We do have postgrad and master's students. We have a lot of international students. We have mature students. So for those of you who are mature students who are considering joining us in September, you are very welcome. And Emer will go through all of that process with you. So, you know, it means it's diverse, it's eclectic, it's very easy to make friends on campus, and we're very open and friendly. I think we're known for that. So for those of you who might not be in commutable distance, we do have campus accommodation for about 1,200 students, 50% of which is reserved for first years. And you can see there the price below. It isn't cheap. We do appreciate that. Between $5,500 and $6,500 per year, depending on the different type of accommodation that you would be interested in. For further information on the accommodation at Maynooth, I will pop in a link in the chat box after, but it's the accommodation section. They do a great little visual where you can have a look at a 360 of one of the apartments that would be available there. Getting to Maynooth, we're about 30 kilometres outside of Dublin, fast by train. Obviously now with the congestion, not as fast as once upon a time, but it's still very, very accessible by car, by train and by bus. These are just some of the links that we have created over the years to the various places in Ireland. I suppose the majority of our students would be from Leinster, Midlands, North Midlands, that kind of thing. But we do have students from as far afield as Sligo and Donegal. In fact, we have a huge, a fabulous legacy with Donegal students over the years, so long may that continue. The newer routes then are tip routes, as you can see. Needless to say, we have lots of ways of getting to us. So why do people want to continue their education? I suppose over the years that I've been, doing this presentation, it's a multitude of reasons. And there's lots of reasons to continue, either from your Leaving Cert and going straight in, or perhaps doing the QQI. You can develop professionally, personally, academically, socially. You can continue to study what you're interested in at Leaving Cert, or perhaps try something completely new. You make a huge, different, diverse amount of friends. You have a further employment prospects. You can go abroad for a year. You can get involved with all the clubs and societies, whether you're mature or whether you're a Leaving Cert. Absolutely, it is open to everyone. So it really is an opportunity of a lifetime, and everyone has their own, each individual reasons for wanting to continue their education. And that's why we feel it's really important to have an evening like this evening to talk about the different pathways into third level. I'm not sure how many of you might have seen this before. This is called the Framework of Qualifications. And, there is something on this framework for everyone. For those of you at Leaving Cert level, you know that you will leave at level 5. Okay, so QQIs, typically in PLC colleges, will offer certificates at level 5 or at level 6. Typically a level 5 is 1 year and a level 6 is at 2 years. So you would come out there at level 6. All degrees available at Maynooth are at level 8. And as I said, you can go all the way up to level 10. So there really is something on this rainbow for everyone. It just depends on where you'd like to see yourself in a number of years' time. Obviously, we're going to go through the overview of the different degree areas at Maynooth, but we try to offer something a little bit extra, completely optional. We have critical skills, we have things called electives, and we have a fabulous experiential learning office for students, whereby if their program of study, if their degree area does not naturally have work placement inbuilt in it, they're not left guessing what that experience is like. How do I apply the experience that I'm learning in the classroom here at Maynooth into a real life work setting? So if you are not studying, let's say, law or business at Maynooth, you have an opportunity to engage in the experiential learning and to connect in and maybe do a research project or an internship or things like that. Critical skills, for those of you who'd like to develop the art of thinking critically and analytically, that's available in first year in our arts degree. And electives, briefly, we have many to choose from. Basically, you would substitute 10 credits of your degree area of choice for 10 credits in something that could be entirely not related to your degree, like film and screen studies. It could be a beginner's language. It could be design and innovation. There are so many to choose from, folks. I've just put a few down there. None of these things you have to do. They're all great optional extras. And if you have any questions on those, please do pop them in and we can go through them. So let's get down to the nitty gritty. Anyone who's on a QQI or considering doing a QQI after the Leaving Cert, this slide is particularly important. So you would need a level 5 or a level 6. You have to make sure that it's linked into us. The majority of our degrees do have QQI links. So we don't with engineering and we don't with primary teaching, but everything else is pretty much linked in. So just make sure if you are interested in a course or you are studying on a course that it is in fact one that we recognize. And I'll show you in further slides what that page will look like. But I use Google. So Google, if you want to Google Maynooth University QQI links, and it'll bring you straight to the page. It's the handiest way. That's what I have found in the past. Otherwise, you can navigate the website. But you will need a minimum of 5 distinctions, okay, a full award. Now, I always tell students, there are a couple of extra bits that you need to be mindful of as well. So if you are interested in studying, let's say, a science degree or a business degree, you need to make sure that your QQI has a maths module and that you either get a distinction in that maths module or you have a Leaving Cert equivalent of an 04 H7. For computer science, you will need an 03 H7, and again, the distinction in your QQI. So whether you're on a course or considering taking a course, and you know that if I do this PLC course, I would like to then go on and do business at Maynooth or science at Maynooth or computer science at Maynooth, to make sure that you're choosing the right course that will have that relevant maths component, that maths module that you will need. Again, if you have any questions on that, folks, please do pop them into the box and myself and Emer will answer those for you. Each of the degree areas at Maynooth is recognised, has a code in front of it, and that's for the CAO. So all of Maynooth University's degrees start with MH, and you'll see that as I go through the different slides here. So just as an example, MH 101 is our arts degree. So always make sure that the course that you're interested in or sitting on is one that we recognise, that you're sitting a full award, which is eight or 9 modules, typically 8. You need a minimum of 5 distinctions to get in as an entry requirement for Maynooth. If I want to do business or science or computer science, as I said, am I sitting the right course that has a maths module? If I'm not, do I have that at Leaving Cert level? And then what is the CAO code on the degree that I'm interested in? Okay, I can see some questions coming in there, which is great. Lots of our courses are in high demand, so sometimes a minimum of 5 distinctions isn't enough, and you might need to get more than 5. So you could be looking at 7 or 8 distinctions in your course. As I said, there is a lovely page on our website that has all of this listed. I will also draw your attention to a careers portal, which is a fabulous website, and it has a calculator tool so that you can calculate and you can kind of guesstimate what each of the distinctions will equate to in terms of QQI points. If that's a bit confusing, we'll go through it, don't worry. Okay, so I'll move on from this one. This is the page, this is the landing page. When you put in QQI links to Maynooth University, it brings you to this page. So you see all of the CAO codes listed there on the left-hand side, the degree title, so whether you're interested in music or whether you're perhaps interested in psychology, it'll give a quota of places available for this year and the amount of QQI points that you need. QQI points are different to Leaving Cert points, okay? So for each module that you will study on a QQI course, whether you get a distinction, a merit or pass, you will get a certain amount of grades, basically. You tot up all of those grades, and then you make sure that you have at least a minimum of 5 distinctions plus those points, and then you're offered a course. Okay, so that's just an example of how that works. I'm going to give you an overview of the different degree areas at Maynooth. Now, unfortunately, this evening doesn't lend itself to kind of dig into that. But what I will say is that we have an open day in April and one in June as well. So if you wanted to know further information on any of the degree areas, please do attend open day. Or after this talk, we have another arts talk, and there are different degrees there as well that you can link into this evening. Our MH 101 is really one of the most popular degrees in the CAO. And it is because we have 33 subjects to choose from. So they're divided up into 6 groups here. You can see there are lots and lots available. Lots of choice, lots of flexibility. Students can choose 2, 3, or 4 subjects in first year. Okay, so the way it works is you can't choose the same subjects from a group. So once you choose a subject in a group, you have to move on then to the next group to choose a subject. So they can't be from the same group, basically. Okay, so you start nice and broad in first year, and then in second year, then it's just your 2 favorites going forward. So you start nice and broad entry, and then in second year, your 2 favorites. Lots of different avenues for postgraduate study, lots of different career opportunities available on an arts degree. It just depends on the subjects that you choose for yourself. Lots obviously choose to become secondary school teachers, but you don't have to at all. Lots of different transfer options as well. And I think it's important to mention that here. Obviously, we have a lot of specialized degrees in law, in psychology, in business that typically have higher points. They have higher Leaving Cert points, but they have higher QQI points for the benefit of this evening. So I would always use MH101 as a great backdoor option if you're considering music, law, business, finance, accounting, economics, or computer science and software engineering, as a great way of being able to transfer over in second year. Okay, so you start off in MH101 and you can transfer over then into one of these specialized degrees in second year, provided you're doing well and you're keeping up with all of your assignments. Okay, so this is just a flavor of the different types of postgraduate and career opportunities out of an arts degree. Similarly, we have a broad entry science degree. You have to choose maths in first year and you get to put 3 other science subjects with it. 15 places available there for students on a QQI and 341 QQI points. Again, I'll just draw your attention to the fact that you need an O4 or H7 Leaving Cert equivalent or a QQI distinction in a maths module. So these are the extra science subjects there that you get to choose from. Bit like the arts, you start nice and broad, but then different in a way. In your second year of this degree, you would have 3 subjects, you will study them. In your third year, you study 2, and in your final year, you can study 1. So again, nice and broad. We have obviously some specialized degrees available for you to study. We have social science, media studies, psychology, youth and community work with various QQI points and places available. We have a Bachelor of, what's that there? Our faces are over it. Social science for anyone who'd like to become a social worker. And we have youth and community work. Now, youth and community work is an interview. So you need to apply via the CAO using code MH116. You will see that there are no QQI points available. It's because they want to interview you just to see if you're a right fit for the course. You are potentially linked in already with the likes of Freuga or a local community group, and they sort of tease that out with you. What is it about Maynooth that you'd like, and why would you like to study here? We have specialized degrees in psychology. You could do it through our arts degree. You could do it through science. Okay, so through our arts degree is 3 years, through science is 4. The reason there were no offers made last year, folks, is because the students unfortunately didn't meet the entry requirements, or potentially they didn't have the distinction in maths. So just make sure that you research that correctly before you come in. All righty. So we also do business accounting and finance degrees with varying QQI points and places available. For those of you who might be interested in working in the banking sector, who love mathematics because they tend to be quite maths, all of our accounting degrees are 403 and our 407 are accredited. So you'll be leaving with a quality degree. Lots of opportunity there for work placement as well. And also in our business and management streams, our international business and our marketing. So there's work placement in those streams as well. 325 QQI points and 20 places available. No offers were made last year in the business and languages. And again, that might be the maths piece. Business and accounting, 5 places available. So lots and lots of opportunity. Lots of different linked courses into entrepreneurship. Now, business and sports science and our international economics. This is really exciting because these are 2 brand new degrees. So for anyone who's interested in business with a flavor of sports science, it's a 40-20 dynamic. So 40% of the course is business related and 20% is sports science. So there are 5 places available there for students who are interested in that. And the same links apply for those that would be interested in business and management. So it's not if you qualify for business and management or arts degree, your QQI course will also be linked into business with sports science, and the same with international economics, which is economics, finance, and computer science or a language. So that's really interesting there. Law is always very popular. And again, I would encourage anyone, you can see that the QQI points are 358 and there are 5 places available. And then for the 3-year options, there are 15 places available. I would also, if you are interested in law, put down MH101 as a 3rd choice in the CAO, just because there are 175 places available for students on the arts, which is considerably more than those that are offered in the specialized degrees. Okay, so we have a 4-year law degree, which is the LLB, and then we have 3-year blended options law with something else. They're all recognised by the King's Inns and the Solicitors Association of Ireland. Lots of different specialised degrees in science as well, whether you're into food technology or biology and geography or the biological and biomedical sciences, whether you're interested in diseases and looking for cures for cancers and things like that. It just, you know, you can choose any of those degrees there. Psychology through science and pharmaceutical and biomedical chemistry, still huge employers in Ireland. These are the more practical degrees here. Robotics and intelligent devices and product design, which is one of my favorites, is a 4-year degree. And there's work placement involved in that as well. So it's the design of products for industry. I will draw your attention to the O3 or H7 leaving cert maths requirement for those, and or the distinction in your maths module. So computer science and software engineering would have the same maths module requirement and the same O3 H7 there as well. Both of those degrees are 4-year degrees, and it is the language of computer. So Java, Python, HTML, C++. So it is, yeah, really good, very, very popular, quite mathsy. And I suppose this brings us on then to education. We have a brand new MH004, it was new to 2022 actually, which is our only advanced entry degree, which means that if you're in receipt of an early childhood QQI at level 6, you would apply through the CAO to our advanced entry into MH004, which is our early childhood teaching and learning flexible option, and you would go into year 2. Otherwise, we have a full-time early childhood teaching and learning, 341 QQI points and 6 places available, and that is that's for students who have a level 5. Okay, so college year, quickly broken down, essays, assignments, you know, obviously for those of you who are on a QQI, you'd be very self-directed, as you know already, which is the benefit, I suppose. For those of you who are considering it, it is a very good fit because lots of places use Moodle, which is what we use at Maynooth as well. You would be getting into the self-directed learning, the essays, project work, the continuous assessment, deadlines and penalties. So a typical day at university: lectures, tutorials, labs, work, clubs and SOCs and students union. Another great part of coming to university is obviously the study abroad program. We're connected with over 200 universities worldwide, Europe, Asia, Australia, North and South America. You would apply for that halfway through your second year if you are interested. Obviously, we have lots of clubs and societies as well. So whether you're a leaving cert student or whether you're a mature student, there is literally something for everyone. This is only a small little list of the total amount that we would have available. So, you know, there's debating, there's all of the languages, Hogwarts, there's yoga. I heard the latest that there was a chicken roll one. I'm not sure if that's still in the go, but you know, you can, if we don't have what you're interested in, you could always create your own club or society either. So it's a really great way to make friends and to get involved with student life. And, you know, if you feel like you're part of something, you're more likely to stay. We do have a lot of supports available for students, whether you're mature, whether you're a leaving cert, whether you're a QQI student, it doesn't matter. We have help and support available across the university: academic, program advisory, math support, language support. There's a help with your writing, budget, counselling. There's a laptop loan scheme. All of Emer's colleagues in the Access office, she can talk just to the amount of Trojan work that they do to help students. So it's great. We have a health centre, we have a creche service. So there really is a lot of help available, which is only right and proper, that we help you out along your journey. We also have, for those of you who play sport at a quite high level, you can apply for a scholarship before the 1st of April. So if you're coming this year, or whether you're going to do a QQI and maybe looking to come to us in 2024, it's before the 1st of April year of entry. And so there are some perks obviously to that, which are detailed on our website. This is just a small flavour of the places that are graduates. So for those who have come as mature and have got their degree, or for those at leaving cert and got their degree, or QQI students and got their degree, these are the different places that they're in, and it is absolutely by no means not exhaustive. So we have a great alumni office that are linking in all the time with students that are coming through, to create, I suppose, those learning opportunities and those work placement opportunities. Sources of information, obviously our website is great. You can chat to maybe a guidance counsellor if you're in school, or a local ETB. All of the ways to get in touch that I mentioned earlier on, qualifax.ie and careers portal, Access College and Student Finance are excellent, and we'll drop the links in to this chat afterwards. You can download our prospectus. We have open day coming up on the 22nd of April and one on the 24th of June. So I know that I went quite quickly through each of the degree areas there. I do appreciate that. So if you do have would like to sit in on those lectures at our open days, please do that, because it gives you a better insight than we could, I suppose, do this evening. We have something called UniBuddy, which is a free app that you can download onto your mobile phone if you have a smartphone, and you can chat to current Maynooth University students. We have one for each of the different degree areas, I feel, or at least 99% of them are covered. So where a current student signs up to this and they give over their time. So if you want to know a little bit more about our arts degree or our computer science degree or our psychology degree, whatever it is, you can find a little student there on the platform and you can start texting them. What's it like? Maybe what's difficult about the course? What do you love about the course? You know, because it's nice to get it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. So that's also available to you. Does anyone have any questions? Are there any questions there, Emer, that might have been repeated that's worth maybe mentioning live?
Yeah, there was one really that I just didn't know the answer to, so I said I'd defer to you as the expert.
Yeah, hope I know.
So Cian asked this question a good while ago, so Cian, I hope you're still there. If I get my required distinctions, will I 100% get into my course? And the course he's asking about is MH203, and he's worried because it's such a small class that he mightn't get in, even if he gets full distinctions.
I know, I understand. Yes, because there are only a quota of places available. So I suppose, hand on heart, I can't sit here today and say absolutely 100% yes, you will get in. I mean, you know, if you work hard and you get all the distinctions and you get all the requirements, we should hope that you would be able to avail of one of those places that are available. So what's a really good plan B is what I would say. So MH203, is that our biological and biomedical?
Yes.
I should know. Yes, I think it, no, I think is ours our biological and geographical, apologies. So you can transfer from our general science degree as well. So obviously put down the WISH, which is the #1 course that you would like to study at Maynooth, if it is Maynooth, first on your CAO, so MH203, and then as a plan B, MH201, which is our general science degree. You can choose a lot of the similar module. Actually, no, you can't, because it's geography. Sorry, no, there aren't any transfers if that's the one I'm thinking of. I'm so sorry now. Let me just get a prospectus. I think that's the way to avoid giving misinformation, folks. Cheapers at this late hour of the day. So let's just see what MH203 is. I believe it is the biological and biomedical, and if it is,
no,
we
it's
don't
the geographical and bio.
It is biological and geographical sciences. So actually there isn't a transfer route from science, and the reason that there isn't is because we don't offer geography in first year 201. So apologies. You would just have to, fingers crossed, hope that you get it. And then maybe if there are other universities that offer a similar type course, maybe put those down as well, so that at least if you weren't lucky enough to get Maynooth, and we'd hope that you were after all of the work and the effort. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. So apologies there for that. There is no transfer route from 201 to 203. The reason is because we don't have geography there in 201. But for the others, there is, okay, because we'd have statistics, experimental physics, biology, chemistry, etc. Okay, so sorry about that. I hope that's okay now, folks, and that's clear. Is there a supplementary maths exam if you don't? No, there isn't. So you might be, Keith, that's a very good question. You might be, Keith, confusing that with or thinking about the last chance maths exam for engineering, but there are no QQI routes linked courses into our 304, which is our engineering degree. But so the answer is no. Is there anything else
Yeah,
there?
no, there's another question there from Darren. That I think, Darren, you have a level 8 already and thinking of coming back.
Okay.
Yeah, so I suppose just I can try and answer that. So if you have a level 8, you won't be funded again the second time to do the same level of course. I know you mentioned there a second time, you're mentioning that if there's a 5-year break, certainly if the 5-year break, if you didn't finish the original level 8, then the 5-year break comes into the picture there, and you could get funded. But if you did finish it and you do hold a level 8, then unfortunately you wouldn't be eligible for any funding, I'm afraid.
Correct, yes. I'm going to stop sharing now, so that you can share away there, Emer, and I will continue to answer the questions there. So Emer is going to chat to you about if there are any mature students here that are interested in the mature route, and I will keep an eye on the questions there.
Great. You can see that, Fionnuala?
I can see it, lovely.
Great.
Perfect.
Okay, thanks very much. So I'm just going to go through a little bit about mature students at Maynooth. We've kind of asked them recently what's kind of motivated them for coming back and that kind of thing. And I think that's interesting for anybody in the audience who is who's thinking of coming back this September, just to see, you know, to know that there are other people in similar boat as yourself. So I'll talk about how you apply as a mature student and the selection process. So it's quite different from the QQI entry process. I'll just talk a little bit about the Maynooth University preparatory courses that we have here on campus for people who have been out of education for some time. And then I'll just reiterate, I suppose, a lot of the information Fionnuala gave there on the supports, and give you my own contact details. So I suppose the first thing we want to say is that there are places reserved in all of the degree programs for mature applicants. So any potential mature student can apply for everything in the prospectus. We're very committed to building a very strong mature student community, and therefore we have a very strong suite of designated supports for this particular group. We currently would have about 600 mature students studying with us across all of our degree programs, and that's just the full-time students. All of our part-time students, whether they're studying full degree or 1-year certificates or whatever it is, would also be mature students. We find that mature students do very, very well academically. In recent years, we just did a little bit of research on how mature students do at Maynooth, and we found that mature students do complete their degree course, and they actually do as well, if not better, in comparison to the entire student body. So we found that more mature students were getting higher grades at the end of their degree course, like firsts and 2-1s at the end of that. So mature students do very well academically. They also participate in all aspects of college life. You know, they form and are members of the Mature Student Society. They work as ambassadors for both the Maynooth Access programme that I work in, and for individual departments, and for the admissions office that Fionnuala is in. So they help us out on any of our open days or any kind of celebratory events, or any event that we have really running through. So we encourage people to work as ambassadors. Mature students also take part in our study abroad aspect of our degree, so they can spend a year or 6 months studying in a university elsewhere in Europe or anywhere in the world, and they also take part in work experience where it's offered as part of their degree courses. And many of our mature students go on to further study masters, PhDs, or go straight into employment. So just in terms of our own mature students and what they've told us why they've decided to go to college. So some of this might ring through with yourselves. I'm not moving on for some reason. There we go. So a lot of them have told us that they just didn't have the opportunity to continue education when they're younger. They might have had to, go out and work, just to you know, contribute to the family finances, or just generally just felt that they needed to go out and work and didn't have the opportunity. Other people have decided they want to go back to college because they'd like a change in career and need new qualifications, or to improve their job prospects in their current employment and need further qualifications. And many people just say they've you know, wanted to develop I have had a kind of passion for a particular subject and wanted to study it on a more formal level, like, you know, biology or English or history or whatever it is. So they do that in a more formal setting. And then other people again have told us that, you know, the opportunity has just presented itself, that you know, the children have flown the coop or they've retired and they have the time now to dedicate to themselves. And mature students are very, very highly valued in the university. The lecturers, the tutors, the teachers, they're always telling us, you know, how motivated and committed they find the mature students. They tend to be very dedicated to their subjects and show up as much as they can, and all that. So the lecturers are always delighted to have plenty of mature students in their class. They bring also very valuable life experiences with them. You know, people have been working for years or traveling or raising a family or whatever it is, and they're bringing those experiences with them into the university and really enriching the lectures and seminars. And as I said, mature students do tend to do well. So as I said at the beginning, mature students can apply for any degree program in the university. And as Fionnuala has pointed out, we have the kind of broad-based degrees, such as the Bachelor of Arts degree and the Bachelor of Science. And then we have specialised degrees in many areas. So we have about 30 different degrees, and Fionnuala has kind of gone through all of them. And a lot of them are represented in the information evening tonight. So there'll be further talks at the end of this session at 8 o'clock, so you can find out more. And in our future open days later on in the year. So how you apply as a mature student. So you must apply through the CAO, and it's just CAO application only. I know a lot of people ask, is there a supplementary application form, or do they have to send anything else in directly into Maynooth? So the answer is no, you just have to apply through the CAO. And you have to do that by the 1st of February. You can get a discounted rate of €25, I think it is, if you get your application in by the 20th of January. And then it goes up to, sorry, €30 by the 20th of January, and it goes up to 45 by if you don't do it until the 1st of February. So really, we'd encourage people after the CAO information evening this evening or the next couple of days, just to get in and start the process. You don't have to finish it in one sitting. You can just go in and create your account and get that discounted rate, and then you can keep going into it and adding your information into it. And I suppose you know, when you're applying as a mature applicant, they're looking for a little bit more information. So unlike the leaving certificate people, or even the people applying purely at QQI, they don't have as much pages of the CAO to fill out. But as a mature applicant, we're trying to get as much information as we can about you. So there's a lot of different sections that we ask you to fill in, or that the CAO asks you to fill in, such as your highest education to date, what you might be currently studying, any other courses you've done at any stage in the past, whether they're work related or just personal interest, and you know, voluntary work information. And then there's a personal statement of I think it's about 200 words, where we'd like to hear about your motivation for applying and what you're interested in and what your kind of goals are out of coming back into education. So it just builds up a picture for us about you as an applicant, and gives us every opportunity to be able to make you an offer. We do allow late applications for some courses. So if the 1st of February has come and gone and you decide, well, I'm sorry I didn't put down one of Maynooth's courses, then just go onto our website, maynoothuniversity.ie, and you will see a list of the courses that are still open after the 1st of February. Really, the three courses that absolutely and utterly close on the 1st of February are our community and youth work course, our Bachelor of Education, and our pure music, our Bachelor of Music degree. So most of the others might stay open a little bit later. So, but have the 1st of February in your heads when you're applying. But if it's come and gone, you can check the website to see what might still be open. So how we select mature students, so there are different selection procedures depending on the degree you're applying for. In some cases, we assess every single application form that comes in. Okay, so in some cases, we will just, if you're currently doing a QQI level 5 course, or you're doing a leaving cert, or you're doing an access or foundation course based in a 3rd level institution, we would just request your results. We'll ask you to send on your results as soon as you have them. So we won't bring you in for interview, and we'll hold a place for you pending receipt of your results. And generally, when we say results, what we're actually looking for, if you're doing a QQI level 5, we would be looking for 4 distinctions in your academic modules. Or if you're doing a foundation course in a 3rd level institution, we'd usually be looking for an end of year result of 60%. So other degree courses we will interview, and if you're being asked in for interview, it gives you an opportunity to tell us about your achievements, both your academic and personal achievements. You can get a chance to ask questions, and we use the interviews to provide very targeted, tailored advice to everybody that applies. And then for our specialised degree courses, we have less places available. So the way we select mature students is that we ask them to come in and ask them to do a written assessment. These have been held online because of COVID over the last couple of years, and we found that was a much more student-friendly approach to take, rather than dragging people all the way into Maynooth to do a test. So there's the written assessment, after which a shortlist is compiled for interview. So all of our specialised or denominated degrees have a written assessment, and all of our science degrees. The written assessments for anything not science related would be kind of a more general. It's not an aptitude test. It's usually just a question that they want to know what's your motivation for applying for business or for media or for social science or something like that, requiring an essay type answer. And then there is a numerical reasoning or maths test for any of the science and the psychology courses in the university. I'll put my contact details up at the end of this session, so that if anybody, and you will have questions, if anybody's applying or has applied or is applying over the next couple of weeks, or is later on being called for a written assessment or an interview and want to find out more about that process, please do email me, and we can have a chat. So we also have a mature student handbook, and that's available online, or you can go online and request us to post one out to you. But the mature student handbook details the selection process for every degree that we have, and also everything else that I'm talking about this evening. So what we're looking for from potential mature students really is evidence that you're prepared academically to take on the degree course. And so we're not counting leaving cert points or anything like that, but we do want people to be ready to take on the level 8 degree course. So the best way to show us that you can do that is to have completed a course in education in recent years. And we know by doing that you'll have acquired the various study skills or writing skills required for the arts, humanities, or if it's anything in the science, engineering, or even the finance, accounting. Mathematics is very important, and labs, obviously, if you're going into any of the science subjects. And we want people to show that they have, they've done their research into their course, that they understand the structure of an arts degree, how many subjects am I supposed to take in first year, and that you've had a look at the subject. So you've done a little bit of research by attending a talk like this, or by looking up our information online. And we also want people to have thought practically about going back to college, so that you're aware of the costs, and you're prepared to make the commitment over the next few years. So for people who have been out of education for a while and would like to come back to university eventually, we would recommend that you would take some kind of preparatory course. So these three are just the foundation courses that we have in Maynooth University, but equally valued in the institution is the level 5 courses in a college of further education. So we don't only reserve places for people on these courses here in Maynooth. We, you know, if you go to Liberties or Dunboyne or Cavan or whatever it is, to do your further education level 5 course, then that's equally valid for getting in place in the university. So our 3 foundation courses held on campus, there's a return to learning course that's at level 5 that prepares people for entry into the arts degree. The certificate in science is a level 6 course. So the return to learning is part-time, the certificate in science and think about teaching course. They're full-time courses. So the science and the teaching are at level 6. And they prepare people into the science or the teaching degrees in Maynooth. And there's also a guarantee of entry once you get the 60%. So it's like getting your 4 academic distinctions in the level 5 course. Okay, so just the general supports that we have. So Fionnuala has kind of really gone through a lot of that, but I suppose, as I said, my main role in the university is to provide advice and guidance to potential mature students. So as I say, please do contact me. We probably won't have an awful lot of time in this session to answer questions or get into the kind of the nitty gritty of the kind of issues some people might have in making your application. So all you have to do is drop me an email, and I can set up to call you or meet with you in person to go through this in more detail. So we have summer academic skills courses. Just if people are missing some of those academic skills to cope with the level 5, such as essay writing or mathematics, we would kind of refer you to essay courses or maths courses during the summer where required. They're not open to everybody. We have our preparatory courses, and then when you become a student of the university, you've accepted your place on the CAO, and we invite you to an orientation program, and that happens about 2 weeks before you enter into your degree program, and it gives you an opportunity to find out about the services and the supports and how to access them. But once you're a student, we have student advisors based in the Maynooth Access program, so we have a very strong team of advisors who've been working for years with students. So each person is assigned an advisor, and you can make an appointment to see that advisor at any stage during the year, and they can provide you with support. Yes,
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to interrupt. I'm just going to say 2 things. Someone asked me and I'm so sorry. Someone asked me very briefly about mature student and primary teaching, which you might go through after.
Yep. Okay.
So it is possible. I clicked off it before I had a chance to answer the question. I'm so sorry. And the second thing is, it was absolutely fantastic to be here this evening. I have to jump off and go on to another talk, onto the arts talk. So listen, please do pop any questions in there and use all of the other ways to communicate with us if we don't get to you this evening. But thank you so much for joining us. It was an absolute pleasure, and I'll see you soon. Hopefully I don't cut everyone off. So just bear with me while I exit myself. Fingers crossed. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, so I'm just going to let Fionnuala know that everything is okay, because we were just concerned that we might cut everybody off, so that's fine. So yeah, so those advisors can provide advice, whether it's around, you know, your academic issues or any personal, social and financial issues. So the advisors are there for you all throughout the year. We have a very strong support service for anybody with a disability. So if you have a learning disability like dyslexia or dyspraxia or dyscalculia, or health condition, long-term health condition or mental health condition, or any physical or sensory disability, then there are supports to be had through the Maynooth Access program. And we have technology support, so we can provide support very early on in the year and throughout the year for people to you know, how to use the Maynooth University's IT resources, and all of those resources really help with your learning as you make your way through your degree course. We also have the student budgeting advice service. So we have Ruth there, who's fantastic support for people who might be struggling to make ends meet. She can refer you to funding. There are she can give you general budgeting advice, or she can help you with issues to do with your back to education allowance or SUSI or whatever it is that's impacting on your studies. And these are just some of the funding kind of resources for people coming back into education. So there's the SUSI grant, and that covers the student contribution charge, which is around €3,000, and it also gives small maintenance. We have the back to education allowance as well. So if anybody's on some kind of social welfare payment and is going into full-time education, you might be, you check with your local social protection office to see are you eligible for the back to education allowance. And if you are, then you can still apply to SUSI to get the student contribution, that big fund cost there covered, but you just won't get the maintenance. But it's important to apply for the SUSI anyway as well. And there are other funds that you should look out for, such as the 1916 bursary and the university scholarship. So they're very much targeting, are hoping to support people who are from low-income households and experiencing various forms of disadvantage. The university scholarship, I know, is opening on the 1st of February. So if anybody has applied and is starting their degree course this September, you should go on to Uversity. So it's just UVERSITY, uversity.ie. It'll bring you into the information on their scholarships. So they'd be worth something similar, 5,000. The 1916 bursary will open later in the year. There are also various supports through Vincent de Paul and area-based partnerships who have an education fund. So you can look into those and see are those kind of agencies in your local area. That's a very good website there, studentfinance.ie. And it has information about all of the funding resources for students. Those last two there, the Student Assistance Fund and the Student Emergency Funds, are funds that are available for our students, and you'll hear all about them when you become a registered student. So that's my final slide here. I'm going to stop sharing in a minute, so I'll just leave that up for a second. So that's me. I'm the Mature Student Officer. As I said a few times, please do contact me at any stage. Email is the best way to get me, and as I say, I can set up to meet with you in person or to call you over the phone and discuss whatever it is, whether it's at the application stage or further down the line when you might have being called for interview or coming to do a written assessment. And then the Maynooth Access Programme, where I'm based in the university, the email there is access.office@mu.ie. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing there because I'm not able to see any questions. So I'll just go over. Okay, I think everything has been answered there and the chat. Yeah, I think Fionnuala has answered all the questions. Just the primary teaching, yeah. So primary teaching, as a mature applicant, you can apply to be a primary, to get into the B.Ed degree here. However, it's one of the few degrees that you still have to meet the matriculation requirements. So you still need the honours Irish, you need your maths and English, you still need the combination of the numbers of honours and ordinary level subjects. And the only thing that you don't need as a mature applicant is you're not competing on the basis of points, like the Leaving Certificate people. So just I hope that answers the question. If you want to put in the the Q&A is probably the best place to put it. If there's anything further you want to ask about that primary teaching, because we have a couple of minutes, I'll endeavour to answer. Sorry, Kim there has asked, sorry, just for PAC, what is the process? That's the postgraduate application process there. So I don't know, we're just talking about the undergraduate process at the moment. So I would advise you, if you just go on to the Maynooth University, the graduate studies, I'll put that into the chat here so you can see. So it's just graduate studies at mu.ie. If you contact them, they will be able to let you know how the PAC system works. Antonia, I'm not sure if that's you about the primary teaching, so hopefully that's answered. And look, as I say, please do contact me directly if you want to ask more questions. Does the thinking about yeah, okay, that's a very good question, Elaine, about I think you're talking there about the Turn to Teaching course going into the Irish and maths. So no, the Turn to Teaching course, it's not running this year, so it's being reevaluated, and hopefully it'll be starting again this coming September. So what we're asking people to do is to, if you email me directly, I can put you in touch with the Turn to Teaching people here in the university, and they will go over the course and how it works. It's not, it would particularly, the Irish is the big issue. If people have mathematics, or you can take mathematics or Irish as part of a QQI course, or as part of your undergraduate degree, and get through the requirements that way. But if you want to, Elaine, if you want to email me directly, I will put you in touch with the department, and they can give you more details about that. There are alternative ways of getting your Irish and maths without having to go back to the Leaving Cert. I suppose that's the thing we want to get through. Thanks, Elaine. Okay, so I think we have about 2 minutes left. I'm aware that the next session is starting at 8 o'clock. So if people want to leave, you can feel free to leave, and log on to the next one. So that's fine. Just going to see if there's any more questions here. Thanks very much. It's great to see so many people here this evening, and I hope you got a lot of your questions answered, and we know it's hard to take in a lot of this information. So as I said, both myself and Fionnuala and all of the admissions team who organised this evening's event are available online at any stage. So do contact us. Okay, so I see people are leaving now, so I'm going to end this session. Thanks very much again, and hopefully we'll see you in Maynooth soon. Thank you.